Thor is going to die in Avengers Doomsday. And this isn't some wild theory I'm pulling out of thin air. Marvel's been planting the seeds for this moment for years, right in front of us. And today, I'm going to show you how it all adds up. See, this isn't about a surprise twist. This is about Marvel sending off one of its last original heroes in the most epic, gut-wrenching, full-circle way possible. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Isn't Thor 5 still happening? It is. But even that ties into the plan. Once I walk you through all the signs, clues, and quiet foreshadowing, you'll see why Thor's death in Avengers Doomsday is not just likely, it's inevitable. And honestly, it's the only way to do his story justice. Let's start with something that flew under a lot of radars. On May 28th, Chris Hemsworth posted a video to YouTube titled, "Thank You, The Legacy of Thor." Now, on the surface, it looks like a sweet tribute, a heartfelt highlight reel of his biggest MCU moments. But the more I watched it, the more it hit me differently. Because yeah, it's got all the familiar Marvel beats, epic music, slow motion shots, all the greatest hits from Thor, Ragnarok, Endgame, and even Love and Thunder. But the tone? It's way too emotional to just be a casual fan gift. Chris isn't just celebrating Thor. He's saying goodbye. The way he talks about playing the character, it's like a man putting the final chapter on something that meant the world to him. He literally calls it one of the greatest honors of his life. That's not just press junket talk. That's someone who knows the end is coming. And you can feel it in his voice. There's this quiet weight behind his words, like he's trying not to choke up. Every shot in that montage feels like a goodbye letter disguised as a highlight reel. It's not just nostalgia, it's closure. And it's weirdly personal, like he's not talking to fans anymore. He's talking with us, almost preparing us. You can tell this isn't a Marvel promo.
Exactly who I am.
This is Chris Hemsworth himself trying to let go of something he's carried for over a decade. When he smiles during that behind-the-scenes clip, it's bittersweet, like he already knows that the next time he holds the hammer, it might be his last. It's the kind of smile you give when you've made peace with what's coming. Even the music in that video shifts halfway through, from triumphant horns to something soft, almost like a farewell theme. Marvel knows exactly what they're doing. They're not just showing us a hero's past, they're quietly showing us his future. It's subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I think, deep down, Chris knows this is it. This is his goodbye tour dressed up as a tribute reel. And he's not alone. In the same video, Marvel brought out the whole crew. Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, Taika Waititi, and even Kevin Feige himself. They're not just tossing compliments around. They're memorializing this character, talking about Thor's growth, his legacy, his place in the MCU. If you've got a sharp eye, or just decent memory, you'll notice this feels a lot like what happened with Chris Evans before Endgame. Remember that moment in 2018 when Evans posted that emotional tweet after wrapping filming? He called playing Captain America an honor, thanked the cast and crew, and fans immediately started speculating if this was the end for Steve Rogers. Turns out, it was, but Marvel never officially confirmed it. They just let us feel it coming. That's exactly what's happening here, only this time, it's Thor, one of the last surviving OG Avengers, one final movie on the horizon, and all signs point to Doomsday being the moment he takes his final stand. It's the same emotional setup, just playing out with a different hero. Back then, we all felt Cap's story wrapping up, even without them spelling it out. Now, it's Thor's turn, and this time, it's even heavier, because we've seen Thor fall and rise over and over. We've seen him lose everything and still keep going. So when Marvel starts dropping emotional breadcrumbs again, you have to pay attention. The difference is, this one feels more spiritual, more final. Like they're not just ending a chapter, they're closing a saga. And the timing couldn't be more deliberate. We're getting these emotional Thor pieces before the big crossover, not after. They're priming us, not just for a death, but for a death that matters. They know Thor's been through a roller coaster of tones and arcs, and now they're giving him a grounded, heartfelt farewell that echoes what they did with Cap. Except this time, they're leaning even harder into the tragedy. And honestly, it feels earned. But here's where it really starts to come together. When Marvel officially revealed the cast for Avengers Doomsday, who was front and center? Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
What the hell is that?
First legacy Avenger introduced. And then, on the opposite end of the lineup, you had Robert Downey Jr. Yep, Tony Stark himself. That's not just a cool callback, that's deliberate. Marvel's bookending this story with their two biggest icons, the first and the last, the fallen and the next to fall. And the way they positioned them wasn't random. It was symbolic. It's like Marvel is drawing a direct line between the man who built the MCU and the one who's about to close the chapter on it. Tony Stark opened the door with Iron Man, and now Thor's going to shut it behind him. It's poetic. Think about how long these two have carried the franchise. And now, we're seeing that torch being passed, not just to a new generation of heroes, but through sacrifice. Putting Thor front and center like that isn't just about screen time, it's about legacy. It's Marvel's way of saying, this guy matters. Watch him closely, and having Downey Jr.'s name at the very end? That's a silent nod, a quiet echo of what we've already lost, and what we're about to lose again. There's a symmetry to it all, this emotional framing that lets you feel the stakes without needing any words. When I saw that lineup, I didn't just see names, I saw the beginning of a goodbye. And if you think this movie is just a massive multiverse free-for-all with cameos and chaos, think again. This is going to be personal, because Doom isn't just here to blow things up. He's targeting Loki, and if there's one thing Thor will never let slide, it's anyone hurting his brother. Let's rewind to Infinity War. Remember how that movie opened? Thor was helpless, watching as Thanos choked the life out of Loki. And Loki's last words? The sun will shine on us again. That line has stuck with me ever since. It's tragic, it's hopeful, and it's clearly unfinished business. Now imagine this. Doom threatens the multiverse. Loki becomes the key to stopping it, and Thor, knowing full well what's at stake, throws himself into the fire to save him. That's not just poetic, that's inevitable. And yeah, I've seen the rumors. The trusted leaker who said a major Avenger would commit suicide in Doomsday. Not a quick death, not a snap-your-fingers moment. A brutal, heartbreaking, irreversible sacrifice. That screams Thor. Because let's be real, if anyone's story has been building toward that kind of moment, it's his. Thor's entire arc has been about loss, redemption, and love. He's already lost his father, his mother, his home, and Loki more times than we can count. He's lived through failure, humiliation, even self-hatred. And yet, when push comes to shove, he still gets back up. That's the kind of pain that makes a sacrifice like this feel earned. It wouldn't just be dramatic, it would be right. Imagine the moment he looks Doom in the eye, knowing he's not making it out, and does it anyway. For Loki, for the multiverse, for all the mistakes he's carried. That's not just a death scene, that's a character reaching his emotional finish line. And it would hit hard, because this time, it's not about fighting a villain, it's about saving the one person he's never truly been able to protect. Think about how far he's come. This is a guy who started out chasing glory and war like it was a game. But the Thor we have now, the one who lost his parents, his home, his hammer, his confidence, his entire identity, he's no longer looking for the next fight. He's looking for meaning, for purpose. What better way to redeem the goofier, polarizing version of Thor we got in Love and Thunder than by giving him a Logan-level farewell? Because let's be honest, Thor hasn't just evolved, he's grown up. He went from the reckless prince swinging a hammer for fun to a man who's carried more loss than almost anyone else in the MCU. And after Love and Thunder, a lot of us felt like something was missing. That emotional depth, that raw, powerful heart we saw in Infinity War. It got buried under jokes. But this is the chance to bring it all back. To remind us who Thor really is at his core. A warrior, a protector, a brother. And giving him a farewell that's grounded, tragic, and meaningful isn't just good storytelling. It's necessary. It ties everything together. It lets us look back and say, yeah, all those missteps, all that pain, it led to this. A goodbye that doesn't feel like a punchline, but like a legacy earned. And Marvel's done this before. They killed off Tony. They killed off Nat. When the story demands it, they don't pull punches. So if you think they won't let Thor go out in a blaze of glory, you haven't been paying attention. But wait, it gets deeper. Let's talk timelines. Before all the scheduling chaos happened, Avengers, Kang Dynasty was set to release on May 2nd, 2025. And you know what Marvel had lined up immediately after that? Thor 5 filming in the fall of 2025. Now stop and think. Why would they plan a new Thor movie right after a massive crossover event, unless something huge was going to happen to him in that crossover? Because here's the twist. Thor 5 isn't about the living Thor. It's about Valhalla. That's right, the Asgardian afterlife. We've only gotten a tiny peek at it so far, like that end credits scene with Jane Foster. But the comics, they're packed with stories set in Valhalla. Gods, monsters, cosmic threats. The Black Winter, the Chaos King, the Midgard Serpent. This isn't heaven. It's a battlefield for fallen gods. And if Thor dies in Doomsday, we're not done with him. We're just entering his next chapter. I'm telling you, Thor 5 is going to be about a resurrected Thor in Valhalla, fighting alongside the spirits of Odin, Frigga, Heimdall, and maybe even Jane one last time. Imagine that. A battle in the afterlife to protect the realm of the honored dead. It's emotional, It's epic, and it gives Thor the send-off he's earned after all these years. And let's not forget, Marvel's already nudging us in that direction. That tribute video wasn't random. The emotional interviews, the legacy talk, the Loki throwbacks, they're soft launching his farewell just like they did with Steve and Tony. And if you're still not convinced, ask yourself this. Why did Marvel just drop a Thor and Loki brotherly moments montage on their official YouTube channel? They don't do anything without reason. That video is practically a eulogy, a love letter to the bond between brothers, one who's already died 1,000 deaths, and one who might finally be ready to die for him. It all comes back to legacy, to the arc Marvel's been building since 2011. Thor's story didn't end with the snap. It didn't end with Stormbreaker or the Guardians. It ends with one final act of love. One final sacrifice. So yeah, Doctor Doom is going to kill Thor in Avengers Doomsday. Not because it's cool, not because Marvel needs shock value, but because this is how legends go out. With meaning, with heartbreak, with purpose. And when it happens, it won't just shake the multiverse, it'll shake us. And that's how you close the book on the last god of the Infinity Saga. So yeah, Thor dies, but his story, it's far from over. If you stuck around this far, thank you. Seriously, if this blew your mind, hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and hey, don't forget to subscribe. Catch you in the next one.